Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Mark, aka the FPL General. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well, Joe. Good to be back for another Monday video. Had a nice weekend watching the football and sitting on a green arrow with two Manchester United players to play feels
It's
quite
good.
nice on a Monday. So yeah, even if they both blank, the green arrow should be secured.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'm on a green arrow as well. Gone up a bit and hopefully Bruno Fernandes does me the business. He's a differential for me. He's one of my dice men according to the live FPL site. So I hope he does very well indeed. I think he's got quite a good track record against Everton.
He
So
does
fingers crossed
six
that
six goals, 5 assists, and 13. So
Oh, nice. Well, you are armed with the stats, which is good. So let's hope he does well. Well, I do anyway. Just a reminder before we go on, do press that like button, does help us out, and do remember to subscribe, keep updated with our latest videos and podcasts. Also, do check out latest membership offers at fantasyfootballscout.co.uk to get access to all the latest tools and gadgets to help you climb up your mini leagues. Okay, let's have a look, see how you've got on so far. Yeah, on 45 points. So we factored in some bench points coming in, lots of bench points coming in. So yeah, do you want to just take us through your team, who you're happy with? Well, it's evident who you're happy with, but who you're happy with, who you're less happy with, and who might go next week.
yeah, just going back to Friday as well, transfer wise, I took a -4.
Okay.
Finally got rid of Gyökeres and Kudus, and in came Brian Mbumo and Thiago. So -4, first hit of the season. I was tempted by a goalkeeper hit as well, but I decided against that in the end. I was hoping Nick Pope would
Mm.
save a penalty from Haaland or keep a clean sheet, and he wasn't too far away from the clean sheet. So overall, good game week. Nice slice of luck getting Anderson off the bench for Semenyo. I thought Semenyo would play,
Yeah.
so it's nice to get the Anderson points. We kind of had a 50-50 call on Senesi versus Anderson. Went for Senesi, but good to get the points coming in. Anyway, Thiago could have been a delightful 13-pointer had he not missed the penalty. That was frustrating. Captain Bukayo Saka, Arsenal score 4, and he only gets DEFCON, which again was frustrating. So it could have been a mega game week.
Mm.
I've got the two Manchester United guys to come on Monday. Blanks again for Sarr and Mateta. Mateta off around the 59th minute. Van Dijk, most transferred in player, disaster. I've had him for ages, so I'm well used to his three pointers at this stage.
Yeah.
And Munoz has been the player of my season. I've had him all throughout and not a lovely 14 pointer there. So Munoz with a 14, Anderson off the bench, and Manchester United players to go. I think I got a 600k green last week, so hopefully something similar, maybe even better this week, and
Yep.
start this grind towards some respectability.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's going to be another week where in the comments in the chat, there's going to be less comments from those going, oh, why hasn't he got Haaland and things like that. Mark is going without Haaland all season, and it could, and it's doing okay last couple of weeks, definitely, and it could have been even better if Bruno, say for example, if Bruno Fernandes or Brian Bomo kick off then, and you had captained them, that would have been huge. But yeah, Saka, at least he did outscore Haaland there. But I think Haaland's XG was something like nearly 1.99,
Yeah.
so very close there. Yeah, I got Virgil van Dijk in myself and Senesi, so a couple of 3 points there. But I did remove Van de Ven and Gabriel there, so I'm up on the deal, and I've got a couple of sort of regular starters. But Senesi is on 4 yellows, as is Munoz as well. We could be really. I own both as well. We could be unlucky, and both would miss out in game week 14 if they both get booked in game week 13. That would be really frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially like you, I don't have much of a bench. Although you do have Anson, 10 points coming in. Lovely. Okay, so with this lot here, oh yeah, I didn't even dwell on Thiago's missed penalty there against Brighton, mainly because that was just a rare penalty save from Verbruggen, but he did go the right way. But it just shows how
Do you know what? It
potent.
was just on Thiago as well. It was one of those where I was just checking the scores throughout the day, and I knew Thiago had his penalty scored. He was
Yeah,
looking for a bonus or two. Then I checked the result, and I seen that Brighton won the game. Like, not a big deal.
yeah.
Thiago still has his probably 7, 8 pointer. And then I logged in, and I'm like, what's happened here? Yeah, the penalty. I didn't realize he missed the penalty towards the end. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was a kick in the teeth. So, but yeah, happy with the thought process on the transfer. Could have been a nice brace there.
Yeah, definitely. I've got Minter was my star of the week. with another 11-point haul. He's just so creative. I think he's got the most assists now in the Premier League. I'm not
He's
quite
flying,
sure.
isn't he?
So yeah, he's doing well. A couple of tough games possibly for him, but then maybe revisit him in Game Week 15. Those who don't own. Let's have a look at your team now, so we can have a look at sort of what this is going to look like in Game Week 13. And you've still got a few flag players. One transfer, zero point 0.7 in the bank. So a bit of movement there, and you're going to be up against, and this is something we're going to look at in this show. We're going to look at some free hit 13 threats to mark, and those that aren't using the free hit this week, because it's going to be quite popular, mainly because Game Week 13 and Game Week 16 are quite good for a free hit. They just sort of they nestle in quite nicely, where certain teams that you maybe don't want to load up on just have a really good sort of one-off good fixture. So, for example, you've got Aston Villa against Wolves, for example. You've got Brentford against Burnley, and of course Man City. We don't have lots of Man City players. Many of us don't anyway. And they play Leeds at home, so it's another good fixture there. So we're going to look in detail at Man City players as well, because that's good for those like Mark who haven't got Haaland and don't want Haaland, but also just see who else to get in as well, whether you're free hitting or not. Looks like a good fixture there. So anyway, let's have a look at your team. Do you want to just read out your team, what you've got, and what your sort of early thoughts are for using your free transfer?
Yeah, one free transfer available, 0.7 in the bank. So I've still got Nick Pope in goal. I was quite close to taking a -4 for Sanchez last week, and I would have been slightly up on the deal, but then Sanchez would be running to Arsenal this week. So I just kind of left it for the time being. Back three is currently Virgil, Munoz, Senesi. Midfield five of Bumo, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, hopefully. Sounded like he might have had illness in the end, when they didn't get a chance to assess his ankle. So hopefully he might be okay. Saka is still there, as is Sarr and Mateta. And I've currently got the captain's armband on Thiago at home to Burnley. On the bench, Dubravka, Anderson, and then dead assets, Gabriel and Chris Wood. Now, I'm conscious as well, we've got a midweek coming up afterwards. So 3 game weeks coming in quick succession. A few more free transfers will be quite nice. But early thoughts are probably geared towards, again, Chris Wood, Gabriel, just to make the squad a little bit stronger. And I think my team's a good example of why free hit is attractive this week. I've already used it, but if you had my team this week and you look at all the Palace players playing against Manchester United, there's five assets straight away. Saka, people who are doubled up, triple up on Arsenal, if you're ever going to take them on, it might be this week, for example. Not that I would recommend doing that. Virgil wouldn't survive a free hit, for example.
No.
Maybe not Senesi either. So I do like the fixtures this week, coupled with how teams are kind of set up this season. So free hit 13 does look attractive, and Man City's, which we'll look at soon. Man City home to Leeds looks like a fantastic fixture to target. So overall, if Semenyo's okay, I don't think the team is too bad. I don't obviously love the fixtures and some of the matchups this week, but given that most of them are attackers in that United Palace fixture, Munoz is basically an attacker. You're looking for attack returns there. Hope's probably okay against Everton. Senesi, Anderson, Virgil. Not expecting a huge amount from any of them, but they are all DEFCON defenders. So yeah, I'll let the Champions League etc. play out, but it's probably the Gabriel Chris Wood spots that I need to look at.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I am free hitting, so I'm going to be doing a free hit video later this week, which I often do. Transfer. I do a weekly video looking at sort of transfer targets as if I had a free hit, and I genuinely going to be using it for next week as well. So it would genuinely be my team that I show, and so there will be a real divide. There would be players with all of the Palace, Arsenal, Manchester United players, and then there'll be people like me on a free hit, where we could do without Arsenal, can do without because they're playing Chelsea. Although, we could get burnt by that. Could Manchester United and Crystal Palace, that could be a goal fest, in which case all of the players that we have there could get returns. But meanwhile, you've got that Brentford at home to Burnley. I like that. Kevin Schade, for example, maybe Collins, Thiago, obviously. Manchester United, Manchester City are home to Leeds. So suddenly O'Reilly, Doku, Cherky, Foden maybe even, to add to Haaland. I like Nottingham Forest this week against Brighton. I think Brighton do concede regularly, and players like Gibbs White as well might be coming in. And of course you've got Salah as well. Could be an opportunity to get Salah in. So that's sort of the divide that's going to be going on this week. and either of those could do really well. And as we discussed a couple of weeks ago when you played your free hit, you got 12 points more than the team that you replaced, and that is a massive success for a free hit. And I think anyone who thinks they're going to get dramatically more is kidding themselves. And I think a lot of people, this could be me included, are going to finish our free hit week on less points than if we'd have done absolutely nothing. And that is, it's not really a fear. It's just, I accept there's pretty much a 50-50 chance of that happening.
Yeah, it's always the case with free hit. It's a gamble because you've got players in your team for a reason, and you back them. You think they're going to
Yeah.
score points most weeks, and you can. It's a trap in many ways, and as you
Yeah.
say, as often as it does, it doesn't work out. And I'm just hoping as someone who's not going to free hit that, I just need, Palace United game to have plenty of goals, a clean sheet or two from defenders. Maybe Nick Pope can step up, but more so, people who are loading up, players from Brentford, Nottingham Forest. It does look good on paper, but they're still from teams that are not, top half of the table. So I just need to
Yeah.
hope that those teams don't have big game weeks.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you are free hitting, you've got to attack the fixtures. I
Yeah.
feel it's one game week out of 38. Well, we'll have two game weeks out of 38 for the free hit, but you've got to go for it. You might keep, a few, reliable guys, but I think when free hit's active, you just got to play the fixtures and, set yourself up for a big game week. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You just move on.
I think with me, I might just be keeping Haaland, so I'm running a massive risk there. I may get the wobbles on Arsenal, maybe just get maybe Timber or something in, just a bit of Arsenal to maybe feel a bit better. Let's have a look at Man City though, whether free hitting or not. Man City should be in our thoughts really, because I tell you what, I put a slide up of Man City players from the last 4 game weeks, but I've quickly put the fixtures up as well. I'll just put those up now because Man City, this is good whether you're free hitting or not. So game week 13, they got Leeds at home, great. Then they got Fulham away, then Sunderland at home, brilliant. And then they got Crystal Palace away. That's probably the toughest. Then they got West Ham at home, Nottingham Forest away, could be tough. Sunderland away, could be reasonably tough. But it is Man City, so you fancy Man City assets in all of those. So this is a good team for you to consider bringing in as a non-free hitter, but also for those free hitting as well. So let's go back to Man City. So I've done this table, sorted it by minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, last 4 game weeks. Haaland's obviously top because he has minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 107 minutes because he's had 16 shots as 4 shots a game, 11 of those on target. So that's absolutely huge. But it's who else to go for, and it's this midfield is really tricky. And it's the next 3 players in terms of minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, just behind Haaland. You've got Cherky there. So he's already got 3 assists. He's on 19 FPL points. It's just two fewer than Haaland. So 6 chances created, 8 shots, just 2 on target though. So he's more of the creative guy. Obviously Haaland's the shooting, goal scoring guy. And then you've got Foden next. He's more reliable to start. He started 4. Cherky started just 3, so he could be benched. Foden, 12 chances created. He's on those set pieces, those corners, and he's had 8 shots, not a single one on target. Once again, he is not the goals guy. So both of them are the assist guys, not the goal guys. And then you got Doku. He's had 3 shots on target out of his 4 shots, hardly any. He has also created 12 chances. Once again, he's the chance guy. And he's had 16 points. Foden's just had 10. And he's also had 3 starts. So there is the potential there. But I think for a midfield Man City slot, I think it has to be one of these 3. But which one?
Yeah, and this has been part of the frustration for me on the no Haaland strategy. You'd love to have another slice of the City attack,
Yeah.
maybe even 2. Marmoush was great last year, for example. We've had Alvarez in the past, but it's been the Haaland show. Everything is
Yeah.
funneled to Haaland. His numbers are through the roof in terms of underlions, and I think he was up on around 60% of Man City's XG at one point recently over the season. It's only a couple of weeks ago I checked as well. I think Haaland was the only player who had more than 1 goal in the City team.
Yeah.
It's probably changed now, but not that much. So there's a reason why these ownerships are all extremely low. Foden at
Yeah.
4.7% there. How he has 10 points in the last four games from 12 chances created and eight shots is beyond me. There's been a lot of players dodging points out there
Yeah.
recently. Enzo was doing it for a while, Sar's doing it, but Foden is winning the dodging points race, I think, so
Yeah.
far this season. And yeah, a really good chance of the weekend as well. Just put it past the post. You'd expect him in seasons gone by just to slot that one with composure. It's just not happening for him. But
No.
that could change. That could change. And I like Cherokee as a player. I'm coming to like Doku a lot more. I think he's improved in the final third. His end product has improved. There's no doubt about that this year. But Foden, I keep coming back to Foden, and I know he's more expensive than the others, but he does feel a little bit more reliable. And surely sooner rather than later, those numbers convert into
Yeah.
FPL points. So with Leeds up next, with no Haaland, with good fixtures thereafter, if there was a Semenyo issue, then I think I would be looking at Foden possibly.
Yeah. So for me as a free hitter, who to sort of put alongside Haaland, I mean, there is a lot of talk about Foden. You're obviously interested there, but I look at those points. It's like almost half the points of Cherky. Doku's got 16. Foden's just has got just 10, and no shots on target as well. And I just look at that and just think that's 8 million. That's a lot. And when you're factoring in, you're probably going to want Salah on a free hit. Haaland, obviously, you're going to want good rest of the team. And there are some cheaper players you can get from Brentford, but I just think that the likes of Foden, I can't see him justifying that. Having said that, it is just one game. It is against Leeds, and he has started more. And you could get Cherky in, who I think is the best one, because he's getting the points, and he's had the 3 assists. So he's had 3 returns. Haaland's had 3 goals. Foden's just had that 1 assist, and Doku just that 1 goal. So it's not a lot going on there. But Cherky would probably get the nod from me. 6.4, you save a lot of money. But I think it's that midweek. So see what happens in Europe. See who's going to be. See who's rested for that.
Yeah, just one thing to note on it as well. Sorry to cut across you.
No.
There's no early deadline, and City play at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's annoying for me as a non-free hitter. I hope the free hit managers don't get to cherry pick their Man City midfielders because of early team news. Now it could happen, of course. It's happened many times before, especially with Manchester City. So if you are on free hit, being online near the deadline might play into your favour, because you could end up getting a leak or two. If Cherky starts, if Doku start, it's going to make your decision a lot easier this week.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's going to be. But then relying on leaks is not something I particularly like to do. Also, I might be out then. It's a Saturday around lunchtime. Okay, let's move on to some of the defenders then. So they're nicely packaged here as well. You've got O'Reilly, who I think would be in my team, my free hit team, and he looks very good to get in. He's got a bit of DEFCON about him. He's only 5 million still, 21 FPL points, it's exactly the same as Haaland. So for third of the cost of Haaland, you can get exactly the same. I mean, that says something, doesn't it?
Just telling me that's the guy I should have to counteract Haaland.
I've captained Haaland for the last 4 game weeks. If you had got O'Reilly in and continued with no Haaland, obviously, and just captained him you'd have exactly the same captaincy points as me. For a third of the cost. You've obviously got more if you captain elsewhere, but yeah, 21 points, pretty good. He's created 4 chances. He's had 6 shots, 2 on target, a goal and an assist. Yeah, he's the one. He's the one to get in defence. You've got Ruben Diaz. He's got a goal as well last time out, and he can get DEFCON a little bit more though. And in terms of just 1 shot on target, 3 shots. So he's got a bit about him. Other ones on this list, you've got Nunez. Now, is Nunez, I think, is classed as a defender or midfielder. I can't remember which, but he's playing in that role. But he's one to consider. And Gvardiol as well is starting all 4 with just 11 FPL points, though, and just 2 shots. So he's sort of dropped off. But yeah, so O'Reilly is the one to get, I think, for in defence, if you're going for that defender.
Yeah, definitely O'Reilly. It's I think O'Reilly's a pretty easy pick on the free hit. Getting the minutes, 1 fixture, you don't need to worry about rotation long term. So yeah, he's cheaper than Diaz as well, so it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Guardiola's not the asset he was last season. Played a lot at left back
Yeah.
last season and got forward. And O'Reilly's the man at the moment. He's not really getting a look in, and he'll be off soon anyway to AFCON. So yeah, I think Haaland O'Reilly is pretty easy for a free hit. And then it's just a question of where do you go in midfield.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at. I mean, I'm quite tempted just to swerve them, swerve the midfield, which seems crazy on a free hit. But if you look at, I'm just having a look to see where Nunes is in terms of, yeah, he is down as a defender. So Nunes has got 18 FPL points. O'Reilly 21, Haaland 21. So they are the three. If you're just looking at points to get in, they've all started four as well. The last four of the last four. So it could be better just to have two Man City defenders, and also they're against Leeds, and I can't see Leeds actually getting the ball, let alone scoring. So I wonder if it's Haaland, O'Reilly, and Nunes would be the three to get in.
I think you've got to, if it's a free hit, you've got to chase the upside for me. So
Yeah, but that's what you would be doing, because Nunes, these guys are getting more points. They are the upside. Foden isn't the upside. He's the low side.
he has been the low side. But who's more likely to get you a 17 pointer? Is it going to be Foden or Nunes?
O'Reilly and Haaland, I think.
Yeah, those two are fine. Those two are the easy picks. It's the third pick. For example, Foden versus
Yeah.
versus Nunes. There's no contest there for me.
No, I don't know. I just think I just see that
Nunes
cost.
is a Joe. Nunes is a Joe pick.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that, because then I should do it. Then I'll be true. If I end up getting Foden in and I can see the momentum building, it'll be one of those things where you get them in, and they get their 2 points. They get subbed off at 59 minutes, and you just go, I knew it. Well, why? But
And then Nunes does the business.
yeah, and then I wasn't true to myself. So I think what I need to do is be true to myself. I think we all need to be as well.
Well, I
So
think if you're being true to yourself, you get Cherky because you said at the start you like Cherky.
yeah,
So
I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm if he's benched midweek, I think I would go, because you were saying who's likely to get a 17 pointer. I think it could be him,
yeah,
because
he's definitely capable.
he could get two or three. I mean, he's already got 3 assists, so he's the main guy who's actually getting those assists. So I just wonder there. So yeah. Anyway, this shows that there's lots of choice here. There's other players we haven't mentioned here. So also Rans really. Bernardo Silva is still going, but just that 1 assist, 10 points. So I don't think many people will go there. You got Nico Gonzalez there, could get DEFCON, and Donnarumma. If you're free hitting, that is another potential there. But it's 2 points or 6 points basically. So you're not going to get much from
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I probably will sell Nick Pope some point in the near future. I might just hold off until we get the 5 transfer top up. But Donnarumma, I was looking at Sanchez last week, and I was also looking at Donnarumma. Just held off an idea. But again, we just looked at the fixtures. Fixtures are really good for City, so I do like the idea of Donnarumma. He's not in too many teams, among the engaged managers, so I quite like him as a bit of a differential.
Yeah, I think, yeah, him or Raya, just as a sort of set and forget. Don't worry about it. Goalkeeper. Let's look at those fixtures again. And we can really, this is game weeks 13 to 19. This shows that overall, if you're looking to get transfers in, Liverpool got the fixtures, but perhaps not the form. Man City have got the form and the fixtures. Manchester United form and fixtures, I would say, they're next. Then Newcastle, they've got the form at home, but not away, but they do have the fixtures. Arsenal, obviously, form and fixtures, go for them. Crystal Palace as well, very strong. Nottingham Forest have got some good fixtures. Brighton, Wolves and Everton away next, then Tottenham, Fulham, Man City tough, and then they got Everton. And meanwhile, Leeds, Wolves, Sunderland, Aston Villa on the whole, this is general up to game week 19, West Ham and Chelsea amongst those with the lowest fixtures there going up to game week 19. But focusing on game week 13 coming up, because that's what we're looking at here. Liverpool got West Ham away, good fixture, but they had a good fixture last week. Man City at home to Leeds, great. Brentford at home to Burnley, great. Aston Villa at home to Wolves is a derby, but it's good. It's a good fixture, Aston Villa. And Morgan Rogers, wow, coming. I mean, that's annoying for free hitters because they're all thinking, oh, we'll get Rogers in. And then
Now everyone will buy him anyway.
now everyone will get him in. and a lot of people will get him in anyway. But his fixtures aren't great going after this one. Brighton and then Arsenal is not great. And then you've also got some tough to call games as well. Arsenal Chelsea, that's tough. I don't know who's going to win that. Manchester, well, I know Arsenal win it, I think, but I don't know what the score is. I don't know whether it's going to be a tight game or what. Manchester United, Crystal Palace, and then you've got this tough one like Fulham, Tottenham. That could be either way. I don't know who's going to win that. So
Both teams could lose that.
yeah, so it's a tough bunch, and then you got Bournemouth, Sunderland as well. That's another one which is like kind of tough to call. Will Sunderland revert to the mean? So it's a tricky week for fixtures, and so you can see why you've got this sort of free hit divide. So let's have a look at some of the free hit contenders, and so threats if you're not free hitting. So I've sorted this once again by minutes per expected goal, involvement, non-penalty, and I've done it by the last 4 game weeks as well. I should have mentioned also Nottingham Forest home to Brighton is a good fixture for attackers as well, because Brighton do often concede. So we'll go down the list. Haaland, obviously, we've already been through his stats. He's top there. Then you've got Salah. Now, this for free hitters, or indeed those looking to get a transfer, he's a tough one, isn't he? 14.2 still. Just those 2 goals the last 4 game weeks. I say just the 2, but if that was someone who was 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, 2 goals in the last 4 game weeks, they're doing all right. 14.2. I don't know about you, but I watched the highlights of the game. I thought Salah looked really good. I thought he was doing Salah things. He was cutting in. He was like jinking around players. He was putting crosses in, short crosses to a striker who wasn't there. And I found it was the rest of the team. But I thought he looked all right.
Yeah, it's I haven't caught the highlights of Liverpool yet. I'll try catch Liverpool midweek as well. I think that's probably as important, if not more important. On the free hit thing again, I know it's becoming a bit of a free hit episode, but a lot of people are. It's good to know what people are going to do and what we might be up against. You definitely start with Haaland, and I think you probably just plug Salah in as well.
Yeah.
I know he's expensive, but there's no Palmer, there's no Gyökeres, there's no Isak to trust. People might take on the likes of Saka this week. You don't, even with Salah and Haaland, you can get a very good 11 on a free hit this week. So because it's West Ham, I know Liverpool have been really poor and they just lost 3-0 to Forest, but I think for 1 week, you've probably just got to have him. I'm pretty sure if I was on a free hit and didn't have any restrictions on myself this season, I would start with Haaland, Salah, and then I'd probably just build around those.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, I'm going to be getting him in because I think he's okay. And West Ham are different to Nottingham Forest. You would hope.
And he's still a high ceiling pick, and that's what you're looking for on a free hit.
Yeah, and he's on penalties as well. And it's more really at the back with Liverpool. So next up is you've got Cherki, you've got Foden, Doku, and you've got Gakpo as well. So we've already mentioned those Man City ones there. We've already sort of gone through them. All 3 of them have their merits. I would like Cherki to be the one, but obviously you favour Foden, just that security of starts as well, and creating those 12 chances. Gakpo's interesting. Now I don't. A lot of Liverpool fans, a lot of people on the phone-ins, are wondering why Isak's starting. Ekitike should be starting, they say. Then you can put Gakpo out on the left, Salah on the right. Hey presto. And then you sort out Szoboszlai as well. Get Szoboszlai back in midfield, away from right back, and that would probably sort it out. And when perhaps if he did that, they could be a better team again. But Gakpo does look like he is the one with Wirtz out by the looks of it. 7.5. Now he's only got those 8 FPL points, but he has had 9 shots, but none on target, which is absolutely crazy. And he's created 5 chances. So I think against West Ham, he could be a good option. I can see why people on a free hit would get him in. But I imagine for someone like you, not free hitting, Gakpo's not to be got.
Nah, he's nowhere near my radar as a transfer in. I had him towards the start of the season for 3 or 4 weeks, and he might have did okay for a week or 2, but kind of dropped off again. But again, for a 1 week punt, you can definitely do a lot worse than a Cody Gakpo playing on the left for Liverpool, regardless of how poor they've been. They've got a decent fixture coming up. Yes, there's no shots on target there, but he can spike a brace.
Yeah.
He's one of the, very few players. You probably put the city midfielders in the same category here. A player that can score a brace in any given game week, given the team he plays for and the caliber of the player as well. So at 7.5, it's a lot cheaper than Salah as well. If you do find yourself struggling for budget building a free hit team, then Gakpo over Salah is absolutely fine.
Yep. Next player is someone that you could get him and not free hitting. I'm going to put him in my free hit. I favour him over Foden. He's a bit cheaper, 7.3. So some people might think that's a lot for Gibbs White at Nottingham Forest, but he's got 3 goals. He's got 28 points over the last 4 game weeks. He's got the most out of any of the players that we're talking about here over the last 4 game weeks. He's got 7 more points than Haaland, and he's half the price. And he plays Brighton, who, apart from twice, always concede. He's created 3 chances. He's looked good in every match. He's looked the man most likely. He's had 9 shots, 6 on target. Wow, that's good. And he's starting every match. I saw something on Blue Sky as well. Someone posted that in very small sample, but in the times that Dyche's been back, that he's pretty much doubled his expected goal involvement as well. He's posting very strong stats there. I think he's a really strong differential, 3.5% ownership. And I don't even think a lot of free hits are going to go for him. I just think there's an anti Nottingham Forest bias. They haven't got their heads around the fact that they're actually quite good now.
Yeah, and I would say Gibbs White's one of the players FPL last season or two. He's probably the most looked at player who doesn't get selected by managers. He's always very tempting.
Yeah.
He's got all the capabilities of being a really good fantasy asset. He can tick a lot of boxes. Hasn't been taking too many set pieces this year. Anderson takes a lot of those. So that, one stroke against him. But
Yeah.
there's no doubt with this new manager bounce, he's probably benefited more than most in that team. He's, playing with more freedom, and he's just getting the returns and looks a lot happier as well on the pitch. So yeah, I briefly considered him on my free hit about 2 or 3 weeks ago. A couple of Forest boys made my bench, but in the end, Gibbs White didn't make the cut. I think I went for Njai instead, possibly. But yeah, he's been great. 28 points. I would absolutely love to have those over the last 4 game weeks. There's a lot of midfielders out there that don't have that. I'm looking at you, Mr. Sarr from Crystal Palace.
Yes.
So yeah, you've got to consider him. He's I think Gibbs White's a consideration for free hitters and just as a transfer now at 7.3.
Yep. I'll skip a few players and I'll come back to them because Anderson's at the bottom of this table. So Gibbs White, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, every 244 minutes. Elliot Anderson is at the bottom of this list here, but he squeezes in his minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, every 500 minutes or so. But he is getting DEFCON most matches. He's averaging 1.5 DEFCON points a start. He's got a goal and an assist, so that's 2 attacking returns. He's on 24 FPL points. That is the joint second best on this list, and that's 3 more than Haaland. He's created 8 chances. He's had 5 shots, a couple on target. And he's on those set pieces as well. My preference, when I come to do my free hit team, I think I'm going to go for Gibbs White, get the goal scorer. But if I haven't got enough money, and that's an easy move for me, I won't have Gibbs White. I'll have Anderson instead. I'm happy with either of them. And I think they're both strong assets. Anderson is not in your side, but I think he's a boring pick, but he's a point scoring pick. And for his ownership, 3%. That's tiny, and I've earmarked him for game week 15 to bring him.
Yeah, Anderson. I think at any point in this season he's going to be viable. He's a budget Declan Rice. Similar kind of role. Rice, that's maybe been a bit harsh on Rice. Rice has been superb this season. And does get into better goal scoring positions. But Anderson at 5.3, I compare, when you compare Anderson and Gibbs White, there's definitely not 2 million in difference in what they can offer you FPL wise. And you see here, last 4 game weeks, there's only 4 points in difference. Again, it feels like a long-term pick is Anderson because he's a lot cheaper. Yeah. But if it's a 1 week punt looking for upside, it's Gibbs White.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Gibbs White's the free hit pick.
Yeah, that's what I would love to do. Free hit Gibbs White in. Do without him next week. Game week 15, I can bring him in. Bring in Anderson for the long term.
And use the 2 million elsewhere.
Yeah. Next name on the list, Kevin Schade, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 254 minutes. He has scored twice I think it would have been his assist for the second Thiago penalty if it had gone in. He's on 18 FPL points, not too shabby. Once again, he is one of the first names on my free hit, and he could be one for you to bring in to go alongside Thiago for Brentford's good fixtures, because I think he is. I think he's more dominant for the minutes. I think he's getting. Yeah, he's pretty much always on the pitch. Whereas Dango is getting substituted some sort of 65 minutes a lot of matches. So I like Sharda for getting him in as well, long term or free hit.
Yeah, I went Thiago, so I obviously rate the Brentford attack. Double up feels a bit of a stretch, but it's certainly not out of the possibility of happening. Shada versus Dango, again, there is a million difference, but I do think I agree with you that it's maybe worth getting Shada because he very often plays 90
Yeah,
and Dango doesn't. And very simple. Play FPL in its simplest form,
yeah,
get the guys on the pitch at the end of the
yeah,
game, like Enzo Fernandez, at the weekend. If they're not on the pitch, they don't score. So Shada, I think when I think of these two players too, if Dango and Shada are through 1v1, who do I want taking the shot on? I think it's Shada.
yeah,
I think he's a better finisher from what I've seen. So I like him. I like both players. If you can't afford Shada, I think Dango is perfectly fine. And again, as a 1 week punt, great fixture this week.
yeah,
Brentford going to be very, very popular free hit because
yeah.
they're so cheap, and that allows you then to have the more expensive guys elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily get Dango, Sharda, and Thiago. So let's mention Dango's stats as well. His minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, a bit worse, every 387 minutes. So they're not considered of the quality of Sharda, but he does have 4 attacking returns. So he's got 22 points in the last 4. And his ownership, minuscule, less than 1%. 7 shots, just 1 on target, though Sharda's 5 shots, 2 on target. So broadly similar. And Thiago, I'm going to mention here. I mean, I keep saying first name on the. There's so many first. That's probably why I think it's a good for free hit because there's so many first names on the team sheet. Thiago is one of that. 6.5, criminally underpriced. I don't care how much he goes up by. I'm still going to get him in. 4 goals, 24 points, create 2 chances, but that's not what he's about. 10 shots, 8 on target there, and obviously he's starting every match and on penalties, and yeah. I mean, he's already in your team, so there's not much more you
Yeah,
can say about him.
just an easy pick this year.
Yeah,
I just picked him up in the most recent game week, and again, frustrating to get the penalty miss, but had the other goal to go with it to at
yeah,
least gain something from him.
yeah.
So yeah, just a really good cheap forward this year.
And finally, a couple of Aston Villa players to mention as well. So we've got Rodgers and Buendia. I haven't put Watkins in. He's getting subbed a bit earlier. He's only had 1 goal in the last 16 matches, I think it is. I can't believe that almost, but
Biggest shock of the season, I would say.
yeah. So Rodgers, he's got his 2 goals. This is his last 4 game weeks, and we know he's got assist potential as well. So he's created 4 chances, 7 shots, 3 on target. He's on some set pieces. He's an absolute fitness machine. He's going to play every minute, and he got Wolves next up. Buendia's worth a mention because he's on 16 FPL points, but he is getting subbed a bit now. His cost is 5.3, so he's a cheaper option there. A goal and an assist. And he's had 5 shots, just 1 on target. So they're both options there. But yeah, I think from Rodgers there, I think from a non-free hitters though, Rodgers will be a bit of an out. I think some people get him in, but I think engaged managers who aren't using the free hit, aka you, are going to look at those other fixtures and for Aston Villa and just think, no, I don't think I want Rodgers in long term. But nevertheless, he plays, he scores and assists.
Yeah, and he's very good. We know he's very good. He was in. I think I had Watkins and Rogers game week 1.
Yeah.
That's why my rank is terrible. Partly, they were pretty poor. I think I jumped off Rogers. I think game week 2 straight to Reinders, which obviously didn't go too well either. But yeah, good to see Rogers back, scoring goals, looking good again. We know the caliber of the player. We know what he can do FPL wise. Yeah, and you think you summed it up well there. I'm very frustrated as owners are with Ismail Assar, 5 blanks in a row, going away soon. You look at Rodgers this week against Wolves and you think I would love to have Rodgers for Wolves, but then you look a little bit further Am I going to be happy when the game refreshes and the fixtures are not so good then?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably fine at 6.8 in the trickier fixtures,
Yeah, yeah.
and we've seen already this season fixtures are maybe not as important as they have been. Forest beating Liverpool
Yeah.
3-0, case in point. So I like Foden, I like Rodgers. There's quite a few tempting options here, but yeah, I keep looking at Villa Wolves fixture and how poor Wolves have been, and
Yeah.
Villa have obviously been much
Mm.
better since the first couple of weeks of the season
Yeah.
as well. So Rodgers certainly high on the radar after that beautiful free kick.
Yeah, definitely. So he's in 5.8% of teams. That will obviously go up a little bit. But yeah, for those that get him in after that Wolves game, they got Brighton away, Arsenal at home. They've also got Arsenal again in Game Week 19, double Arsenal. West
Worst
Ham
Paul,
away.
it's not what you want to see.
So West Ham away. Then they got Manchester United at home and Chelsea away. So they pretty much got two good fixtures from now until the end of the calendar year. That doesn't, when we've got, well, all these players here, virtually all of them, I think virtually all of them are midfielders. It's somewhere around 6 to 8 million.
Yeah.
Shows you the choice.
The one thing I'm just to throw something else out there. We are all going to have five transfers very, very soon. So, Rodgers in for Wolves and Brighton and maybe one more.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have transfers to use. So maybe there's points to be had
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And maybe if we weren't getting topped up, we wouldn't touch it. But we can probably be a little bit more aggressive now with our next few transfers.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at my transfers ahead of game week 6 because we all get five. All goes to five transfers at 16. So if I haven't for thought think, oh, I'm going to go into game week 15 with 13 with three transfers, scratching my head, going, oh, how am I going to use these transfers? I'm not going to get that stage at all. I'm going into game week 14 with one transfer. I'll go with game week 15 with two, and I'll use them probably then, and that'll be it. That'll be it for me.
I can't get past one at the minute.
No.
It's like I've been stuck on one free transfer, zero
Yeah.
point 0.1 in the bank for ages. I finally got myself up to 0.7 now.
Let's finish off by having a look at the captaincy matrix. See who you're up against. Obviously, Haaland's going to figure prominently in all of these, but there are some really good options. And the last 2 weeks have shown you can bet against Haaland, perhaps against home to Leeds less so, but you can do that for some weeks. Game week 13, Haaland at home to Leeds looks the best standout captain. Salah away to West Ham is okay. For you, Thiago at home to Burnley looks great. I think that looks great anyway. Even if you got, I think it's a genuine conundrum for those that have Haaland and Thiago because I think they're both really good fixtures.
The fixtures are on a par, but Haaland and Thiago are not on a par. So it's an easy captaincy choice for Haaland owners. I'm very comfortable giving Thiago the armband.
Yeah,
But there's always a chance that the player I bring in gets the captain's armband. And, I look at that Man City fixture against Leeds and it could be a bloodbath. And if it is a bloodbath, it is 5-0. Haaland probably scores all five. That's the
yeah,
problem for me.
yeah.
But can I tap into that with a Foden, for example? And could I gamble on a Foden captaincy when he's been, there hasn't been any returns? So it's very hard to make a case for buying him, let alone giving him the armband. But again, if there was team news before deadline and Foden was definitely starting, quite fancy a Foden captaincy against Leeds. But if not, if I don't go there with the transfer, I'm pretty sure it will be Thiago.
Yeah. Game week 14, Haaland's away to Fulham. That's where my armband will be. But you can get bet against him this week, I think. Salah are home to Sunderland, maybe less so given their current form. Bruno Fernandes or Brian Bomo are home to West Ham. I really like that. Saka at home to Brentford. Brentford aren't so good away. I like that as well. I think there is a genuine captaincy decision to be made here, and I think it's another good week for you as a non-Haaland owner.
Yeah, there's certainly options for me this week. Again, if Semenyo's back as well, home to Everton, I'm always kind of looking at him as a possible captain these days. The Saka home to Brentford, feel very comfortable with that as well. Palace guys play Burnley, although they might not survive that long if they keep annoying me as they have been doing. And yeah, Bruno and Bumo home to West Ham, Monday night. No, that's no Thursday night. Is that the midweek one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last game of the game week on Thursday night is always it's always tempting. I'm kind of sorry I didn't do it this week. We're sitting here on Monday before the United game. It's a nice cozy feeling on a Monday if you still have your captain to play,
Yeah.
especially if others haven't delivered. So maybe that's one for the midweek round of fixtures.
Yeah. And game week 15, it's another good week, I think. So Haaland's at home to Sunderland. You've got to think a strong fixture there. So I think Haaland owners will go Haaland for that one for the armband. But once again, Bruno Fernandes or Brian Mbomo away to Wolves. That's a really good fixture. And then you've got Salah. See if Liverpool can pick up some form. Salah away to Leeds. Bruno Fernandes and Brian Mbomo. That's away to Wolves. Sorry, in case I said at home. So they're both strong fixtures. But yeah, I think you would be confident with one of those Manchester United players as a captain.
And again, final game of the game week. It's the living in hope captaincy.
Yeah.
That must be three game weeks in a row that they're
Yeah.
to the last game of the game week. So just before I forget as well, I meant to ask you earlier about there's some managers this week who are in the conundrum of triple captain versus free hit. So where do you fall on that?
If I had triple captain and free hit left, I would obviously be aware of that. So I with my team have been gearing towards free hitting this week for the last couple of weeks. So accordingly, but I think those I would go for triple captaincy on Haaland this week. I think this is stronger. I think Leeds are worse than Sunderland. So I think with your triple captaincy, if you've got Haaland, I think Haaland at home to Leeds is better than Haaland at home to Sunderland in game week 15. For you still got your triple captaincy left.
Yeah, that's the only one I've got left.
Okay. Now, if I did think about this actually, if I didn't have Haaland and I had a triple captaincy, I would use it this week on Thiago.
I got the shiver down my spine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can go that. I like Thiago, I like Brentford, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can do it over a Saka or a Bruno or a Bumo at a later date.
I just think this is the best fixture. It's at home against the side that gives up the most XG. Thiago is doing what Haaland's doing, but for less. It's just scoring. That's all he does.
Maybe he hands the penalty to Shad after he missed.
No, he won't. But if you look at all of these options here, so where were we up to? Game week 16. So we just done game week 15. So game week 16, once again, you've got Saka at home to Wolves. Okay, triple captaincy.
That's better, I think, than Thiago.
Haaland away to Crystal Palace. So Haaland away to Crystal Palace, I think, is the worst out of this bunch because Salah's at home to Brighton. Bruno Fernandes and Brian Mbomo are home to Bournemouth, and Thiago is at home to Leeds. Saka at home to Wolves. All of these, this is where I would be considering. If I didn't have Haaland, I would use I would use triple captaincy this week because all of them, you would triple captain. I think they're all really strong fixtures.
Yeah, I think it's early days yet, but I like game week 16 Saka home to Wolves. Okay. If Wolves are still in the state they're in now, then I quite like that for a Saturday night triple captain.
Yeah.
Sit down with a can of beer and hopefully it all goes well. So yeah, but just going back to the question earlier, I agree with you on triple captain Haaland this week. Yeah. I think Leeds at home is by far the best fixture that Haaland has left before the halfway point of the season. I think he's got West Ham at some point, but it's like right before Madrid away, which is a little bit scary in terms of minutes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if you've got loads of chips left, unless your team really needs a free hit this week, and some teams will, of course, then triple captain, I really like it a lot.
Because once again, game week 16, because of that, Man City away to Crystal Palace is a bit tricky, and all these other fixtures here that are good. I think game week 16 would be a good free hit as well. That's why people are thinking that. We're going to wrap up here with game week 17. We're looking far in advance here. Haaland at home to West Ham, I like that a lot. Thiago away to Wolves, very good. Mateta away to Leeds, like that less. And Semenyo at home to Burnley could be good as well. I think it's another good week. I mean, it just shows you here the Manchester United players, Saka and Thiago, I think, can rival Haaland for pretty much most weeks for the armband.
Yeah. And Semenyo when he's back. So I'm feeling a lot better about captaincy going forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Captaincy's been a massive part of my problems this season
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far. There's been a bit of bad luck. There's been probably one or two bad decisions as well, of course, as there always is. But the as we've just ran through 5 or 6 game weeks there, there's a lot of captaincy options. I've got them in place already. Um, yeah, Semenyo, the United guy, Saka, and Thiago. There's 5 captaincy candidates there
Yeah.
in most game weeks. So hopefully I can improve on the points return from the armband, and in particular when I do use the triple captain, I really hope that goes well.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. Hopefully, giving you some food for thought there. Hopefully, we've helped those are free hitting or not free hitting. More importantly, because that's going to be most people. Most people aren't going to be free hitting. So we're going to find out some of those threats against you there, but also Man City options, which ones to go for. So hopefully that's given food for thought there. Certainly helped me a bit. We'll be back again next week. I haven't got the schedule, but we've got a midweek game as well. So I imagine we'll be back on Monday. We may or may not have 2, but I suspect we'll have 1, and we'll look ahead to perhaps both of those games, game weeks 14 and 15. But we'll sort that out next week. But we'll definitely be back early next week to have a look at the next game and see how you got on for this week. In the meantime, take care. See you soon.
Cheers all.